time ago his competent communication manual. He completed his advanced communication bronze, and now he's about to complete his advanced communication silver, meaning 30 speeches in total plus 2 presentations. Tonight's is the first of these 2 presentations. His time is 10 to 15 minutes, and his objectives are pretty much general, but he has to display all the skills that an advanced speaker is supposed to have, meaning body language, control of vocabulary, grammar, time, visual aids, and all of this sort. And his presentation today is about controlling fear, controlling your fear, if I remember correctly. Again, his time 10, 12, 15. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. The number one reason why all of us here are here is to conquer our fear in public speaking. Dave J will tell us about the fears he experienced in his public speaking and how he managed through his 4-year career at the Liberty Village Toastmaster to conquer those fears and what he has learned. J. Rao, conquering your fear in public speaking.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good, thanks.
It's good to know, Wayne. Since today's a little bit of a mini workshop, I'd like it to be a little bit interactive. And by that I mean that if I'm saying anything or at any point you want me to clarify something or if you have a question, feel free to ask me. That doesn't mean I want to get sidetracked onto explaining something for an hour. So I'll try to keep the explanations really short, but feel free to interrupt me and ask me if you need to. First of all, I want to start off by asking everyone here, are you guys afraid right now? Of you? Well, you know what? Of course you're probably not, because you're sitting down and I'm up here. And to tell the truth, yes, I am a little bit nervous. And that's why I took particular interest in this topic, because this is something that's at the heart of every person. I mean, you can go on the street and ask any macho man out there with tattoos and everything, ask him to get up in front of an audience and do a speech. And you'll watch him slowly crumple into a small ball, into a fetal position, and cry for his mommy. And that's not only men, women as well. It's funny how children don't really have that fear. Not until they get older and learn to be afraid of doing anything in front of people. In today's mini workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to learn to deal with this fear by learning what triggers it, what the symptoms are, and how we can manage those symptoms. Now, the fear of public speaking is not only common among beginning speakers, it's also common among experienced speakers. It never entirely goes away, but you can learn to deal with it to the point where you expect it, you know what to expect, and you can just do what you have to do in spite of it. And you're going to learn in this little workshop how to come up here and appear confident, even though inside you might have some butterflies going on. Now, what exactly triggers this fear or anxiety? Well, let's see. There are a few things. New and unknown situations. New situations, things we haven't done before, they cause uncertainty, and obviously uncertainty causes anxiety. The risk of failure. Everyone wants to succeed. No one wants to fail, especially in front of other people. And there's always potential for appearing foolish. No one wants to suffer embarrassment or disgrace. especially among people who they're going to see again. And there's also the possibility of boring an audience. Everyone wants to come up here and leave the audience wanting more, not less. Now, what are the symptoms of this fear or anxiety? Let's see. What happens to us when we experience fear is that our body releases adrenaline. Now, adrenaline, it causes blood to, well, first causes an increased heart rate, which causes blood to flow through us at an increased rate and delivers oxygen to our muscles and to our brain. The body does that to help us to deal with the situation, like a saber-toothed tiger coming at you or something. However, unfortunately, it doesn't really help us much in public speaking. Now, we may experience things like butterflies in the stomach, uncontrollable shakes, lightheadedness, and even dizziness. Now, it's important to know what the symptoms are so that we can all realize that all of this is normal. It happens to all of us. Maybe one of them, maybe all of them. I'm experiencing a little bit of each right now. So now that we know what the symptoms are, let's see how we can deal with this. How do we manage the anxiety coming up here? The number one thing is experience. Practicing your speech and knowing it until you know it inside and out helps immensely. And it helps us to build our confidence and reduce our fear. So you do a few things. You can practice in front of the mirror. You can always practice in front of your mom or dad or your better half. Or the best thing I suggest is to practice and videotape yourself at home. When you watch that video, you're going to be surprised at how you come across to other people. And it's a good thing because at least you can evaluate yourself and be your first own evaluator. And then you can improve upon that by doing another videotape and another. Maybe you might have to do, I don't know, a whole roll of a bunch of films just to get that one speech. I've done, for competition speeches, sometimes 20 different videotapes after making improvements on each. And they get incrementally better. So, once again, we've got practicing in front of the mirror, rehearsing in front of family and friends, delivering a speech up here. Now, another major way of dealing with an upcoming speech and conquering that feeling of fear is visualization. They say that vividly imagined memories, just making it up and imagining it vividly in your mind, it causes your brain to store that imagination as memories that are no different from any other memories that you have. So what you would do in this case would be something like you would imagine yourself being introduced. Then you would imagine in your mind walking up to the lectern with a big smile on your face, maybe winking at a person or two. Then taking a couple of deep breaths when you get up here, speaking clearly and with enthusiasm, and finally wrapping it up and hearing thunderous applause from your audience. Another method is relaxation. The mind and the body are so incredibly connected that when you have a mental fear, it manifests as physical stress. And the best way to calm yourself is by controlling your breathing and doing a few simple movements. That's basically what we do in yoga as well. So what we're going to do now is going to try a little exercise. Very simple, and it's going to be completely up to you, but I'd suggest you do it. If you're cool, you'll do it. So everybody just please rise. It won't take too much space. Now what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in deeply into our stomach until it's full, and then let more air go into your chest. And you raise your arms and look up. And when you're Slowly breathe into your stomach again, into the chest, and reach. Slowly down. Hang out down here for a bit. And one more time, breathe in and come up. Into your stomach first, then your chest. Reach up, and then slowly down. And then one last thing. Just reach up with your right arm. Bend at the elbow, like this, behind your back. And give yourself a nice pat on the back. Good job, guys. Have a seat. So far, is everything pretty clear? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay. Now, there are also a couple of other things you can do, like isometric exercises with tension and, of course, more breathing techniques, but I want to keep things very simple, because simple is best, and people usually don't remember too many things at the same time. So in conclusion, I want you guys to know that even after doing some of the things that we've talked about today, you may still feel a little nervous. But just think of that as a sign that you're alive and that you're normal. Okay? Keep in mind that your audience is probably not even going to notice. And so, if you come up here and you make a mistake, so what? Remember, we only learn to walk by falling down many, many, many times. Right? Now, although it would be great if there was a magic pill you could suddenly take and come up here and do an amazing performance, unfortunately there isn't one. However, the methods that I've mentioned will help you to decrease your fear and anxiety and help to increase your courage. Now, courage is not the lack of fear. A person who's courageous is not someone who has no fear at all. That person would be a robot. Courage is acting even in the face of fear. Okay? So, when you come up here and you act regularly in the face of fear, whether it's coming up here or even just in your regular life, when you face your fears, little by little by little, what's going to happen? It's going to change you. It's going to change you and the way you look at life. Many of the things that you used to fear, you'll see them differently. You'll see them only as what they really are, challenges. And you, my friends, after this workshop, are definitely going to be up to the challenge. Thank you.